Hey you guys, it's Monica and welcome back. So today we are going to be making one of these like oceany tumblers, and I'm gonna actually do like a really cool finish with like rhinestones. And so I'm using a 30-ounce hog tumbler that I've barely, as you can see, spray painted white, just with some flat white spray paint down in the garage. And so y'all know me, I like to glitter using the Mod Podge method, so that's what I'm gonna do. Lazy me is pouring it straight out that big tub. Oh, and let me tell y'all, the girls are on to something with these brushes. I'm convinced that like whoever discovered that these brushes were bomb for crafting, I thank them because they are so bomb for crafting. These are just the Wet and Wild like blush brushes that you can pick up at the Dollar Tree. $1.25 tree. It's funny how we don't y'all love how we've all adopted to saying the $1.25 tree, even though their name it's still the Dollar Tree. But like they need to know they was dead wrong for what they did. And then I've been going in there lately and not being able to find anything. I need to go there today, as a matter of fact. But anyway, so yeah, using the Mod Podge method, getting a nice even coat of glitter on here. And so my methodology behind the glitter is that I didn't want it to be like a completely even 20% ombre for each of the five colors. I wanted it to have like depth and maybe like, you know, just I didn't want it to be even because when you think about when you look at the ocean, the layers and the colors that you see, it's not like if you're on one part of the beach and you walk a half mile down the beach, and if you can walk a half mile down the beach in the sand, girl, you are strong. Because after that, I'd be like, all right, this is enough. But yeah, so I definitely wanted to like give it like different depth perception and stuff like that, thinking about like the water, where the water is lighter, where the water is like more shallow, where the water is deeper, things like that, like a little how you see that like little white piece sometimes, and that's like a really shallow spot. So kind of think about it like that. Yes, I be having all these conversations with myself in my head when I be crafting, because that is just a part of my creative process. So yeah, I have always loved these cups, and I just never made one. And it's like, I don't know, I'm trying to get more back in my crafting bag, trying to get back on my ish. Y'all know life hits you heavy. It's something you just be like, I don't want to do anything. And that's kind of the mood I have been in lately. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start focusing and making things that I love too. Because I always tell y'all, make the things you love. Because that's what's going to keep you passionate about what you're doing. Because you're not making the things you love and you're just following trends or doing things that other people are doing, you're not going to want to keep doing it because you're just like, you're always searching for that next thing to do as opposed to doing the things that like speak to your heart. Like for example, no, and this is no shade to the girls that are doing it, but like I seen everyone, like I feel like I've been seeing a resurgence of everyone doing like these Lisa Frank tumblers. But like baby, y'all can check the channel. I did a Lisa Frank. I did a couple of Lisa Frank things like 2-3 years ago. So that's been my girl. So don't be a bandwagon. Be your own self. It's okay. All right. So now the glitter is done. You see, I kind of did every section. No section is even compared to the next section. And so now I'm going to just quick coat it really quick because I don't want any of these colors going into the other colors, especially that white color. Like I was trying to be like really cognizant of how I was not bright toning. Oh my goodness. What is this? A quick coat. I couldn't remember. So I'm going to quick coat the white color first. That way that's just locked in. And that's at that point, that is when my camera and my ring light attacked me. So that's what that was. So your thing didn't spaz. I was attacked by my own equipment. So yeah, so now I'm just gonna quickly speed through this because this part is pretty boring. But like I said, I do the white first, and then I work from the white out to that gold, which is aspen, and that pretty like aqua green color, which is retro igloo. And I kind of work my way out so I can make sure that I don't mix in those into the white accidentally, and then I just coat the rest of the cup like real regular like. So nice and simple. This step is optional, or you can always spray paint, polyacrylic, something like that, if you want to go ahead and lock these in. And also, it reduces the amount of layers you have to do when you do epoxy. So just something to remember. So now I'm just going to quickly show you guys me epoxying. I am using the Alumilite I can't say it. The Alumilite Clear Cast quick coat. It's the one. This is the one I showed y'all in the one video where I did the cup in 24 hours. So the ones that you can recoat your cups in like 4 to 6 hours. So I've really been liking this stuff. I'll show y'all where I got messed up with it though in the next one. So yeah. And at this one, like, don't you love when you make a cup and you be like, this was the right decision? Every time I epoxy something, that's when I really know, like, if I made the right decision or if I didn't make the right decision. And when I started epoxying this one, I felt like I made the right decision. And the day I epoxied this one, we had went to the Denver Nuggets game. They were in the playoffs playing the Warriors, and they won. So I was, like, extra turnt. So, yeah, life's good. And Russell and Sierra was at the game. It's funny because, like, you know, they had announced somebody else from the Broncos. And, like, you know, they got, like, a few little subtle claps. They announced Russell Wilson. When I tell y'all people got on their feet, even me, I was so excited. My husband was like, that's all you wanted to see. I said, well, I was hoping they was going to be here. I said, they've been at all the other playoffs games. So I was happy they showed up. But I'm still rooting for the Pittsburgh Steelers when it comes to football season. So what I'm doing now, so that first coat has dried. It is the next day. I've sanded a couple little pieces where I felt like it needed to be sanded. And so what I am doing now is that I'm going to just go in and put a nice little thin layer of just regular clear epoxy, nothing mixed in. And so what I did, what I'm going to do and I've split a little bit of that epoxy off so I can make like the ocean cloud, whatever you want to call it, marble, off to the side. So I'm just gonna put like you don't need to make it thick like you're trying to like coat the glitter like you would on the first. You want it like really like thin enough that it's not like bulky, but thick enough that you know it'll have some movement in it. And so I just really take my time making sure, like trying to, and you'll know what it is when you do it. You be like, oh, this might be too much. It probably is. So now I'm just going to hit it with the heat gun just to get that heated up, warmed up, and moving a little bit. That way, when I drop this mixture in, which that's just white acrylic paint, and I'm going to just drop it into just a couple of drops of that paint into that epoxy. And you can also use, y'all know I'm a big fan of titanium dioxide as a white as well. But titanium dioxide, if you don't use enough, it could still be like milky, creamy white, which I wanted like a stark white. And so that's why I went with using the acrylic paint. So yeah, now I'm just, normally when you do a marble, you do like in whatever the direction your swirl is in. Since these did go like horizontally, like horizontal layers as opposed to like angled layers, I'm just going to follow those lines where those sections meet and just kind of go around them. This is the part where like you got to feel it. You be like, where do the lines go? What are the lines telling me? Where would they like to go? Where do they want to be? Where is it too much? Where is it too little? So those are like the kind of things that be going through my mind when I be doing it. So at this point, like I said, I had some extra sitting off to the side. So now I'm going to hit it with the heat gun, and this is going to get it moving, give you that swirly look, that cloud look, that marbly look that you are looking for. Be careful if y'all do like me and set your heat gun down in the room and you have carpet in the room. Because one day, the fire alarm, did I tell you how the fire alarm went off in my house? Because I had set it down and it had started to like burn up the carpet or something. I said, oh my goodness. I hope the fire department don't show up, because I didn't know if they were automatically called or not. And I was like, oh shit, I'm going to turn off all. I turned off the lights and everything and just sat in my living room like I didn't know what was going on. Like I was just waiting on them to come and be like, ma'am, your fire alarm went off. I remember one time when I lived in New Orleans, the maintenance people had came into my apartment unannounced and I wasn't home, and they didn't send a note saying that they were coming, and I had an alarm system which automatically called the police if it went off for like more than 30 seconds. And they were like, oh, can you call and tell the police not to come? I said no, because y'all had no business coming in my apartment when I was not there. So let the police come and y'all explain that to them. So what I want to show y'all real quick, y'all see how it's getting kind of gunky and moving and like leaving that like little trail? That's because this epoxy only has a 20-minute working life, and I move slow. And so between like mixing, setting up cameras, stuff like that, like that epoxy has started to set up and get thick on me. So that is just something to remember when you use this specific epoxy, that quick coat epoxy, that it will start to set up on you. And you just got to work it a little more, but like you have to just be really careful because it won't want to move as much. So when you heat it up, be careful because you may burn the epoxy, which is possible, and you don't want to do that. So just something to be cognizant of if you want to use these same exact supplies that I used, that will happen. So I'm going to use my heat gun to heat it up a little bit. And again, you'll know when you start to burn your epoxy because you will smell it. And it's not a pleasant smell. And I don't know why I got to tell y'all, but make sure you are wearing your protection when you're doing your epoxy. Come on, ladies, we know better. So that is what we were working with right there. After this layer, I went and did one more very thin layer again to just lock all that design in and all that. So that's what it looks like. And you can see I went ahead and put a name decal on the cup. And I'm going to be using my handy dandy liquid fusion. And let's do some rhinestones on the cup. Because like I've seen this. I haven't seen it like a lot, but I've seen it like a more than once or twice. Where people have put the name in rhinestones on the outside of an epoxy cup, and I thought it was really pretty, so I thought this was a good cup to do that. And I'm going to be using the Stones Jet Ski, which are newly released over on period6glitter.com. You can get all these glitters and all these rhinestones at period6glitter.com. So don't forget that. So yeah, I wanted to do this. Y'all tried to play me. When I posted this online, I was like, how y'all think I'm going to finish this cup? Like, not all y'all attacking and being like, you going to put your own name on it. Y'all like, damn. Like, y'all know I can't, as much as I would love to make everything for myself, I just can't. So yeah, but maybe one day I'll make myself one. But no, this one is not for me. But I'm like, not everybody coming in the comments for me. Like, dang, y'all. Make sure y'all shop period6glitter.com if you're going to attack me then. So yeah, so I'm going to just finish this off. I'll just show you me doing the little ends. That font, because someone is going to ask, that font is called Samantha. And you can just, it's free font. You can just download it. If y'all need me to show you how to use the fonts, I'm pretty sure most people probably know. But like how you put the little ends on the letters and stuff, I can do that. Or you can honestly there's videos on YouTube on how to do it. It's not very hard at all. So yeah, and I like the all lowercase with the little tails on the end. I always think that looks really cute. Straightening up my stones. And I'm using size SS12 stones, Jet Ski. Those are 3mm stones, if you are curious to know what that translates to. So yeah, I have the SS16 sitting next to me because I thought I was going to use it on some of them. And I end up not. Oh, and also if you download this font, I offset this font because if you don't offset it, it's really thin and it's really hard to weed. You honestly, you probably won't be able to weed it because those ends will just be like flying in the air when you pull it off your mat and there will be no saving it. So I'll offset it to make it a little thicker because you can't actually bold this font because it's like a downloaded font. So yeah, there's that. And so I finished up the name and this is what the finished product looks like. So there she is. I felt like that was a really good selection of stones. She's so pretty. So this is our little ocean cup with a rhinestone name finish. I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought. Thumbs up the video. Follow us on all of our social media platforms over here at Period 6 Designs. We are on not Twitter. We are on TikTok and Instagram and Pinterest. Period 6 Designs is the name you can find us under everywhere. And I will see you guys in the next one.